Oh, we're almost there. All right, all right, all right. We are live today and we are happy to be on the live. I think it's a good day to be alive on the show. My goodness. My goodness. Wow, 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 wow. We are pumped up today because we got a very interesting show for you today. And we are blessed. I know it's a beautiful day out there, and I'm pretty sure if you are living near where we are, you enjoyed the weather today. But that being said, we have an important show. And so, without wasting time, I know you know my co host right here who was missing in action last week. She is here on the live right now. My goodness. My goodness. So we are pumped. And not only that, we also have an important guest, and we actually have some studio guests today too. We want to hear from the studio guests. Just do some clap on the background. My goodness, my goodness. All right, all right, all right. So we are going to proceed with the show today. And as you know, as we said, we have a very important show. Today, we are talking about saving miracle babies. Saving miracle babies. And basically, we have, as I said, a guest whose job it is to save babies and who is actually in the medical field, an experienced leader in the field of medicine in Ghana and in Africa. So we are blessed to have him. And so we just want to go right into the show. As you know, we usually come on the live only on Sunday evenings, but we are here today because we have him for just a short time. He's going to be back to Ghana and Africa pretty soon. He just came for some conference, so we want to do a back-to-back show. So we have him today and we have him tomorrow, and so that is Dr. Frank Serebour for you. And I want to see if I can show him right now. Yes, Dr. Frank, welcome to the Life and Health Show.
Thank you very much.
My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. All right, so we are going to go straight up into the program today. We have some questions, and I'm going to have Gifty ask. Well, before we even go to the questions, let's just be a little bit informal. How's your stay so far since you've been in the United
I
States?
think it's been fantastic and it's been quite restful. That is one of the key reasons why I like traveling here, especially here in Connecticut. Of course, if I have to go out, you know what it means. I will have to let you skip work or give you skips work before I'm able to go out. So that means that I have a lot of time to rest, and I think I have really enjoyed my time so far. It's been great, and hopefully next year I'll be back again, same time.
Wow, 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 wow. My goodness, my goodness. Yes. Give it up for the studio host. My goodness, studio audience, you beautiful, making the show fun, man. I think our camera will pull you up in a few, so hopefully the audience online will see you.
We'll get to see that.
Yeah, right. So, well, we also thank you for the time. I know you are very busy. You were here for a conference, right?
Yeah, I mean that was the preliminary, the actual reasons why I came. But beyond that, because I already taken my leave, I decided to visit family, and of course take a rest. So it's a combination, and so my part of my leave, and of course the short conference that I attended in Washington. So that was the reason why I came. But of course, I was always going to come, even if without the conference, I was still going to come.
Right, right.
For my leave.
For your leave, right, right, right. All right, all right.
So we can say that your leave and slash conference slash vacation.
Plenty of it, isn't it? Yes, of course. Yeah, you are right.
All right. All right. So let's go on to studio guests. If you have any questions, don't forget to just let us know. You can actually walk up here and ask your questions, or if there's anything. All right. All right. So, all right, we'll move forward. Gifty, let's go on with the first question then.
Okay. So I think under the inscription we had something written like President of Ghana Medical Association. We didn't talk about that.
Oh yes, introduction.
If you can introduce it properly.
Very good, very good. Thank you for that. My goodness, that's why you got to be on the show all the time. All right, yeah. I took it for granted because we have had him. This is about third time on the show,
Yes,
on the Life and Health show.
precisely, yeah.
And you are a pioneer on the show. You know, when we began and we were fidgeting with the computer and stuff. I remember the last show we had, the audio was actually so bad nobody could hear us. And you didn't, you were not angry. I thought you was going to be saying,
Oh,
no more. Yeah, so I'm happy. That was when you were actually the vice president of the GMA.
Yeah.
And we were hoping that you'd be elected as the GMA president. By the way, as official, as Gifty said, Dr. Frank Serebour is the president of the Ghana Medical Association. Ghana is in the west coast of Africa. And basically, what Ghana Medical Association is an association of all the doctors that practice medicine in Ghana. And he happens to be their leader, the association's president. So I'm telling you, we are blessed to have him right now. My goodness. My goodness. All right. All right, so with that out of the way, welcome. And incidentally, he also happens to be family. That is why we can host him in our home, right? Those of you who follow our channel, we interviewed his wife a year or so ago, maybe less than a year.
I think it's less than a year ago.
Yeah, less than a year when she was here also for a conference. She's also a nurse leader in the hospital at Comfort Nochi Teaching Hospital. And today we are back with Doc, and we know that it's going to be a blessing. We want to see how they save these premature babies. It's something that I know is dear to his heart. He alluded to it before he became a president. So I want to take the opportunity to talk about it. But before that, Gifty, start us off with the first question.
Okay, so the first question I have here is I think you alluded to earlier that you have been a president for the GMA for almost a year now, or more than a year.
A little
over a year. So you want to tell us a little bit about the project so far that you have started?
I think that what is key is that even before I became president, I did have a message, and my message was very simple: to ensure that we are able to provide some critical equipment to some facilities within Ghana, especially in the line of taking care of children. Maybe because that is my specialty. So I felt that there was the need for us to do something for these children. And if you come to Ghana, you will realize that most often than not, children are really the group that is neglected, more or less. And if you look at even all the projects that are being built currently by the president or the government, you don't hear of any children's hospital. So children are really neglected group, and I know that if we have to do something. That is an area that we could affect change. So my main project was to look at the issue of prematurity, where how can we help to ensure that babies that are born preterm survive, and then also issue of neonatal jaundice. I know that jaundice really is not a big deal for those of you in the United States here. But for us in Africa and Ghana, it's really a big deal. And the problem we have is that it's actually killing a lot of babies. And even when the babies survive, sometimes they get brain damage. And so we have a lot of children that are born with kernicterus leading to cerebral palsy. And so there was the need for us to do something about it. So my main project was to look at how best we can help these babies survive. And so I decided that we are going to go into sourcing for funds to ensure that we procure some phototherapy machines, that is to deal with the jaundice, and then of course incubators to deal with children, the preterm babies. One key thing is that even though we know that we could adopt strategies like kangaroo mother care, which is supposed to be a continuous process, and if I say kangaroo mother care, it simply means that the baby is placed skin to skin to the mother or the caregiver. It's not only women who can do it. In fact, everybody at all can do that. And once you place the skin of the preterm baby against the skin of an adult, you expect that the adult is better equipped to be able to regulate the body temperature. And in so doing, it actually helps the preterm baby be able to also regulate his temperature, which is very key because of hypothermia and its related challenges that come. And so we decided we embark on the project. So far, we've done some distribution already. As we speak, already have done some distribution in 8 regions and, of course, 8 facilities. If you go to the central region, there's a hospital there, a William Polyclinic. We've distributed some equipment to them. Fiam Kwanta, which is a regional hospital in the western region, has also benefited. Tamale Municipal Hospital has also benefited. Sunyani Municipal Hospital has benefited. We've also gone to SDA Hospital in Dominasi. They have also benefited. And of course, my own hospital, Bekwai Municipal Hospital, has also benefited from the project. And then there is another hospital in the Bota region which also benefited. We're able to do this not from the Coffers of the Association. What I did was to embark on this kind of resource mobilization, and I managed to get some companies. There is this water producing company called Trillium. They produce a popular water in Ghana called Vena Water. And through their support, we're able to do this. And this is the first in this series. Let me say that this is the first time Ghana Medical Association in its entire history has been gone into such a project. We've never distributed equipment to any hospital before, so that is a novel thing that we've done.
That's good. That's good. That's good to hear that. My goodness.
So it's something that we are doing. That is one key project that we set out. The other projects that we are doing are more or less going into infrastructure and to try and see how best we can touch base and ensure that we build an office complex in Accra, and also see to it that at least all the regional divisions benefit in terms of clubhouses. The reason why these ones have become necessary is because we realize that most of the time when doctors go on retirement and they are home, they struggle to find places that they can go to interact with each other, to actually socialize and so forth. So there is a need for us to create, even among those who have not gone on retirement, we are so busy, we don't find time to socialize, and that comes with its own challenges. So we want to try and create avenues such that there are places for doctors to go and be able to socialize. And for the office complex and the conference facilities that we are building across, so that we can cut costs, so that we don't have to go and rent conference venues for our conferences and our meetings. And so these are areas that we are looking at. As we speak, the architect has started. We've had several meetings with him. He showed us some preliminary drawings. Hopefully when we go back, we'll look at the final drawings and then we can approve them. And then once that is done, it means we have to look for money to start building. And so that is the second bit that we've done. We've also gone into issues of welfare issues that are very important to our members. I can say that I have spent more money on welfare issues on our doctors than any other president in the history of the association.
My goodness. Yes, studio audience. Yes.
And what we have done basically is to look at the doctors who are not well and they need help, and we have sought for funds for them. In fact, recently, just before I came, there was this doctor who had some cerebral aneurysm and has already started bleeding and needed some balloon coil. Hitherto, I am sure, would have struggled to be able to mobilize funds to support her. But we did. We were able to mobilize funds from several sources. And of course, the association, its own coffers, we were able to also pay half of that. And I can tell you that it took our intervention to be able to get to the point where even the hospital agreed to undertake the procedure. And I wasn't sleeping. I was talking to them day and night to get them to agree. And now this doctor is fine. She started work last month, I guess, yes. And she is a young 29-year-old doctor. So you can see how important it is for us to be able to do some of these things. So we are also doing a lot of welfare issues, and we are very much into it. We are using the association's money, and of course, monies that we can source from people who are willing to support us, so that we can sort them out. It's rather sad that for those of us who provide health for other people, health is not free for us. Even though our conditions of service is supposed to be sponsored by our employer, it doesn't happen. So we need to look at ourselves and see how best we can support ourselves. So because of this issue, what we are looking at currently is to look at a health fund, which hopefully that is going to be my next project. Once the annual general conference approves that we can go into that direction, I am going to move into that health fund project, set money aside, purely take care of the doctors when they are sick, especially when they need some of these healthcare issues that we need to resolve, so that we don't have to rely on anyone, but we can rely on ourselves and ensure that we take care of ourselves. And this is not going to be only for doctors who are in active practice, even for those who have gone on retirement. And so that is the next project that we are going to embark on. And so it's all looking good. It's just that the challenges are many, but so we are sure that with the grace of God, we'll be able to surmount all of it and then move on and do our best to ensure that at least we improve the healthcare system in the country.
My goodness, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff you guys are doing there under your leadership. You knew I was going to query you a lot because before you got this, there were a lot of things that you had planned to do, and so far so good. I hope that your second term will even make it even better because you crown it up with several more activities. But today we are going to zone in on one area that you mentioned, that is taking care of the premature babies. And I can tell, viewers, you can also tell that he's passionate about philanthropy. He's not just taking care of the people that he's leading, the Association of Medical Doctors, but he's also reaching out to the most vulnerable of us all, the preterm babies. My goodness. And we're going to give you the opportunity to be part of his service. But before we move straight into that, just want to ask one more general question about healthcare in Ghana. How is it so far since we last spoke about a year or so ago?
I think it's improving, even though we've had a fair share of our issues regarding brain drain. A lot of our nurses are leaving, surprisingly the experienced ones, and some doctors, of course, have also left. But generally, we have improved, and hospitals, the recent hospitals that are being built across the country are well equipped to be able to at least deal with some of the health issues that hitherto we may have struggles to deal with them. As we speak, the government has embarked on some Agenda 111 projects, and I know that some of the facilities are almost close to completion. I work in a facility that was recently built, and it's one of the new hospitals that have been inaugurated or started operating in Ghana, and that is the Bekwai Municipal Hospital.
Actually, since you said, I think I have a video of
which
that.
Is a very beautiful hospital, well equipped as well, even though, yes, we still need more. If you look at it, what we need now currently is to be able to get the resources to be able to ensure that we operate at a full capacity. As we speak, we have signed an agreement with the medical school, that is the School of Medical Sciences, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi in Ashanti region in Ghana. And the agreement is to ensure that we are able to train medical students from this facility. And so,
wow, that's a huge one too. My goodness. My goodness.
We have gotten to the point where hopefully some hostel facilities will be built there so that the students can stay there when they come. And we've gone a long way. A lot of work have gone into this. And hopefully next year when I come back, maybe I can give you good news and tell you that everything is sorted out, and we can even tell you exactly when this thing is starting. So it tells you that a lot of work is being done, but we still have challenges, especially with human resource. And it's more to do with the doctors and the nurses who are leaving, especially to the United Kingdom. And it's not their fault. I think it's all because of economic issues and reasons. And that is the reason why I've kept saying that in as much as government is putting in a lot to improve the general outlook in terms of infrastructure, they should look at the human resource issues and address them. And this comes with motivation and encouragement, if only not in terms of money, but even the environment, accommodation, and ensure that at least people who stay don't regret. Yeah. And so those things have to, otherwise we can put up all these beautiful edifices, and I think they will become museums. There will be no one to work in them. So it's important. And so government should not only concentrate on just the building of the physical infrastructure, but building the human resource is key. And then once we are able to get that, hopefully we can count ourselves at least accomplished in this direction of healthcare provision, and we would probably become one of the attractive points when it comes to healthcare delivery across the continent.
My goodness. Okay, Gifty, go ahead.
Yeah, so what would you tell anybody coming or relocating to Ghana, including African Americans or people that have stayed here for so long, about healthcare in general? What will you tell us
Ghana is
specifically?
quite a fertile ground. I think that if you want to relocate, it's quite a brilliant idea to try and relocate to Ghana. Doing business in Ghana is sometimes a little bit difficult, but what you have to do is you have to at least get your information right, ensure that you know precisely what you want to do, and then if you are coming to the health sector, you have to know the laws that govern the health sector. And once you know that, then it becomes a little bit easier for you. Otherwise, you become frustrated. If you just walk in and you think that you can come and cause change without looking at what pertains on the ground, then the frustration will start. But in terms of healthcare delivery, I am sure, like I indicated, if you are coming, you should feel safe that your healthcare is quite well taken care of. In fact, if for nothing at all, we have the capacity to be able to make sure that at least your healthcare is taken care of. The University of Ghana Medical Center is available for quaternary care. Of course, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, which surprisingly has not seen some kind of facelifting for a long time, even though the quality of services there can rival a lot of high-profile hospitals across the continent in Africa. And so we are quite stable, but if you want to come in and settle, and especially invest in the health sector, you really will have to take your time. Look at what pertains the laws that govern what you are coming to do, and ensure that you are dealing with credible people so that you don't get your hands spent. And that is the advice I'll give to anyone who wants to come back home.
Right now, what about just a follow up on that? What about regular people who are not in the medical field and they're not in the healthcare, but people are going to Africa to settle, especially the African Americans. Can they trust the healthcare delivery? Can they, commit their health into your hands that you guys can take care of them when they come? Because there are some stories, people don't trust doctors, and flying back and forth to just deal with diseases will not be something that a lot of these African Americans are going to be willing to do. What do you say to that?
Absolutely. I think that people can come in feeling very safe. We have come a long way as Ghana in terms of our healthcare delivery. If you talk of specialties now, the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons is quite up there. They are training a lot of specialists in various fields. And so you have specialist care available to you if you come. And it is not a place that you should be afraid to come in terms of healthcare. It's quite safe, and you can be sure that when you are not well, you'll be well taken care of. We just hope that we are able to even do more than what we are doing at the moment. But there is no cause for alarm at all. You should be able to feel quite safe coming to Ghana to go about your normal duties and ensuring that your healthcare is well secured.
Wow. And I'm happy to hear that, because a lot of immigrants and a lot of people are also, getting older and they want to settle back home.
I think there are always going to be some stories, especially the sensational ones, that people would try to make it look like there is fire on the mountain, and that once you get to Ghana, your healthcare is not. Of course, those stories would always come, but I am
like
in there,
anywhere, right? Even
and
here.
I can assure you that it's not all of that bad, and there are very good things that are happening in the country.
Okay.
And then if you come, I'm sure that if you are open-minded, you would experience a very wonderful healthcare system. Even though, of course, like I keep saying, it needs to improve. And you realize I came for even a conference here. The conference I came here for is a conference of the Ghana Physicians and Surgeons Foundation of North America. And this is Ghanaian doctors and who are here in America. They have come together. They still have linkage with us in Ghana now. They are helping train doctors in Ghana in terms of specialization with the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. Some of them come to even offer services, and in so doing build capacity of some of our members. And so there is this linkage. So you can even be sure that when you are coming in, you would have some of these doctors who have trained some people within the country to be able to take care of you. Confanoche, for example, has a wonderful relationship with the Michigan University.
I see.
And so Michigan brings its doctors to Ghana to come and train the Ghanaian doctors. So that's in terms of emergency. And that is where Hetty is. Hetty used to work with some of them at the emergency. And I say, Hetty, that's my wife. She is an
Yes.
emergency nurse specialist.
Right.
And so they were trained by these people. And so they know what they are doing. All they need is support in terms of equipment and logistics to be able to deliver the best of care. So if you have all these people available, I'm sure if you are coming in, you should be sure that at least we will be able to sustain you, even if it comes to the point where we need to fly you back here to the United States for you to get some super care. We should be able to sustain you to get here.
My goodness, Doc, you are making us feel good. My goodness. Wow, that's good news, because a lot of people, for fear of health, cannot go back home.
They should come.
They should come.
Yes, they should come. It is well.
It is well. I like that. All right, so we're going to zoom into what we actually intend to talk about. That is saving miracle babies. And the reason is that you, apart from being the president of the Ghana Medical Association, your own practice is with children. You're a pediatrician.
Yes.
And
my special interest is with these babies. Yeah.
My goodness. And aside from this show, we have talked about some of the things you've done. But we want to give people the opportunity to not only hear, but also offer their own support and services through your leadership as the president, and also through your own practice as a pediatrician. So now let's zoom into that area. What I don't know if you can answer this, but I'll just ask it anyway. What is the youngest age of a preterm baby you have been able to save in Ghana? I know last time you came, I took you to your hospital, and you were impressed about what St. Francis Hospital did in Connecticut. Do you have that?
I will tell you one interesting thing that we did in a village where I work, the place I work, that is Bekwai. This is not Ghana. This is Bekwai Municipal Hospital. Now we are able to make babies who are weighing less than 0.5 kilos survive.
Wow. So, my goodness. What is 0.5 kilos in pounds? We are used to pounds.
I have to do my
Divide by
calculation.
please do your calculation.
Right?
If you divide by 2.2, then it means that you are getting about 0.2 something is in the pounds, right? Surviving. Hitherto, it's we always are looking at babies who are about 1 kilo, they're about hovering around that area to ensure that they are able to make it. But now we are doing so much. The actual cutoff value for us as Ghanaians is that for a baby to be declared as a preterm baby, you should be at least 28 weeks. And then, of course, not have completed your 38 weeks or 37 weeks. So once you have not completed 37 weeks and you are more than 28 weeks, you are referred to as a preterm baby. Below 28 weeks, you are more or less like an abortus. But I can tell you that now, babies who are less than 28 weeks are surviving.
Wow,
my goodness. That tells you that even that definition that we have.
We like that, Doc.
That definition that we have, that the preterm babies are from 28 completed weeks to 37 completed weeks. We need to revise it because it's clear that we are doing more than that. Okay, and this is the reason why, for me, my interest into these areas where we can ensure that people are surviving. There is this issue of IVF that has come to the fore in Ghana, especially for people who struggle to give birth and infertility. They go through in vitro fertilizations and so forth, and they are delivering very preterm babies. And these are mothers who have struggled to ensure that at least they are able to get some of these babies delivered to them. And so you have to do everything possible to ensure that these babies survive, because that is probably the only chance the mother has. And so a lot is being done, and we are doing so much. And that is the reason why it is my objective to ensure that everywhere in Ghana, regardless of where the facility is, at least have an access to an incubator.
Incubators.
And if it comes to even worst case scenario, you need to refer this baby. The baby can have access to the incubator whilst being referred. So transport incubators should be the next thing that we should be looking at, so that regardless of where the babies are, we should have transport incubators to bring them to where they need help. Because our ambulances are not equipped with such facilities. We still think of adult terms. None of them, I have not seen any of our ambulances that are equipped to support newborn referrals. And so it is an area that, as a country, we need to look at. And this is the reason why I think that we need to give every baby a chance. And like you said, these are miracle babies because ideally they are supposed to stay in the womb for more than 37 weeks, and then they come out as matured babies and they are okay, prepared for the external environment, and they are able to, so life is easy for them. These ones decide to come early, either by one reason or the other. They come too early and they are very vulnerable.
Very vulnerable.
And their problems are multiple, and they basically need a lot of support to be able to pull through. And so it's important that we look at them because you have to give every life a chance. And that is why I think that we need to look at these issues of incubators, transport incubators, and how best we can keep them. And even radiant warmers. I'm sure you showed the radiant warmer, baby under radiant warmer, to keep them warm. This is a baby and an incubator. And this is Bekwai Municipal Hospital, actually.
This is where
hospital.
you practice. Oh, my
This is where I
goodness.
practice,
My
yes.
goodness. Like that.
Yes, this is where I practice. So, basically, that is this baby is on radiant warmer. I'm sure if you showed you see in your video, you will notice that even our radiant warmers now has been set to a regular distance. It tells there's a problem because we shouldn't have it such that once it's on, you see a plaster with some note written there. Because if it got spoiled, we need to bring somebody to fix it. And when the person fixes it, he set it into a certain temperature that you cannot really do much. Because if you try to regulate it too much, it's going to go off.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
and this is not ideal.
It's not ideal.
Exactly. So these are the kind of problems that we do have. And this is even for a facility that has it. There are facilities that don't have it at all.
My goodness.
Okay.
My
So
goodness.
we do have a challenge, and our attention is not mainly on these babies who are miracle babies, like we refer to them, because our attention is basically on adult medicine, and we are not thinking that these are the very people who grow to become adults.
All right. So the next question you asked.
The next question is okay. So I think you started with the challenges. So apart from the incubators, do you have any other huge challenge?
Yes, we do. We do have issues with, of course, like I said, radiant warmers was one of the things that I talk about.
So
that
you
we
have the
can
warmers and then the incubators themselves.
We have issues with PBs, with jaundice and phototherapy. In fact, we are lucky. When we took this video, we didn't have too many babies on admission. Sometimes babies do share the phototherapy machines. So you can have 3 babies in one cot sharing the phototherapy machines. And the danger is that you would end up with babies who can transmit infection from one
to the other.
each other. And so you end up with more problems that you would have to deal with than even the babies came with. And that is something that you don't want. You should have enough. You should be able to get to the point where it should become 1:1 and not 1:3. This is Dominus CSDA Hospital. And this was an incubator that we donated to them from the project that I embarked upon.
Through the GMA?
Through the GMA, yes.
My
through
goodness,
the
my goodness, my goodness.
And so they sent me
My
some
goodness.
pictures. So
That is under my brother's leadership, right?
So this is some of the things that we're doing. So those are some of the challenges that we do have. So in equipment, and there are even issues with theater beds in some remote areas. You go to certain hospitals and their major problem is that their theater beds become unadjustable. So it means that doctors and nurses who are operating will have to bend over with bad back and so forth, and they work their socks off because of that. If we can get theater beds and make sure that at least it gets to them, it's something that will be wonderful. My hospital doesn't need it. We have excellent theater operating machines and so forth. But because, of course, like I said, I belong to the whole of Ghana, so I have to look at every single hospital and be able to see how best we can support them.
Now, this is just Ghana. I can imagine what will be in Nigeria, Togo, or some of the other
I'm
West
sure their
African
problems
countries
will not be too different from ours.
Yes.
I mean, the challenges may be very similar. And because we more or less mimic each other. And so it won't be too different at all. Yes. I have been to Nigeria a couple of times, and I think that they mirror Ghana very much in terms of what they have and what they don't have.
So how prevalent is the premature baby?
It is quite prevalent. In fact, even in this video, you saw some in the incubator, and it was taken today. Actually, I asked them to go to the ward and get me a few videos, and then they brought me this one.
Okay.
So preterm is almost a daily occurrence. We almost have preterm babies on a daily basis. And so even beyond here, we do have a place we've labeled as the KMC room, or the kangaroo mother care room, where we keep the mother and baby together so that they can practice kangaroo mother care skin to skin. And so there is
kangaroo
a
mother
room.
care, skin to skin.
Yes, there is a room.
Now I hear you. My
purposely
goodness.
meant for it. So
Kangaroo mother care.
it's routine, and this is Bekwai alone. And so Konfanoche and other places in Ghana, almost everywhere, preterm babies are being delivered on a daily basis.
So you would say that having the incubators would be a major thing that would sort of help.
It would help. It will help in a lot of ways, because one key issue is that you need to ensure that these preterm babies, their temperatures are regulated, because that is the key thing. Once they spend a lot of energy trying to regulate their body temperature, they don't gain weight, and then the likelihood is that they will give up, they suffer hypothermia, and then they die. If you are not careful and you put them in an environment that is even too hot, because they are unable to regulate their temperature, they develop hypothermia, and that has its own consequences as well, and then they die. So you need to get a thermoneutral environment, and the only thermoneutral environment you can provide is one, to keep them in an incubator, a clean incubator, and that even prevent them from getting infections. Preterm babies are prone to infections. Their immune system is not well developed. It is actually very poor. The skin, which is supposed to be the first barrier for infection, is even transparent.
Wow.
And it's not as rigid as the term baby skin. So very easy for them to get infections. And even when the infections get in there, their immune system is also very poor.
Very poor.
So it's so easy for them to go into that direction, and they suffer. So if you have incubators, we can keep their body temperature and ensure that they are not getting the infections, you've solved a lot of their problems already.
My goodness.
And that will mean that they can have the time and the energy, save some to gain weight quickly, because you want them to gain weight as quickly as possible. And once they do that, their chances of survival is very high. So it is crucial. It's very important for us that we are able to provide those incubators for the preterm babies. Very, very important.
Very important. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Now, I don't know if you have the statistics, but how many people who are born preterm are able to survive, and how many die?
We don't have. I don't have a segregated statistics, but generally we do have. We have neonatal mortality rate hovering around 25%.
Ooh, that's a lot.
And that means that for every 100 babies that are born, you have about 23 of them going to die.
Wow.
And why do they die? 1 is infections, 2 is prematurity, and 3 is jaundice. These are the top 3 things that kill them. And then maybe on the 4th one is asphyxia. And indeed, asphyxia would only kill babies when you don't have the capacity to be able to ensure that you intervene in time. And then if the theater beds are not readily available, babies have fetal distress, you want to go and take them out, there's already somebody on the table. And because of that, that baby will have to wait in there and wait till the best person who is off the table comes in before the cesarean sessions are done. And sometimes even the ability of these nurses to resuscitate babies.
Goodness.
So these are the 4 major killers of our newborns. But I looked at them, and I think that for infections, it's more of something you cannot really do much, but training infection control practices and ensure that at least once you're able to do that, the rate of infection will go down. But the 2, which is the jaundice and the prematurity, they need certain equipment to be able to survive. And so that is the incubator, that is the phototherapy. When it comes to asphyxia, it's more of training. You need to train and provide the resuscitative equipment for. And those equipments are not too difficult to get, ambu bags, oxygen, and stuff like that. So those are readily available. But these 2 are key. If we're able to solve the issue of neonatal jaundice, solve the issue of prematurity, it will bring down our neonatal mortality rate very low. I'm sure we'll be doing less than 15% or even 10%. And that for me is where the crust of the matter is. And it's important that we target areas which we can deal with very easily and quickly, so that we can get more babies surviving and not dying.
My goodness. Right. That is something that you and I can actually donate and help to alleviate. I mean, babies who have come to the world and not allowed to live just because they came too early. You know, they were rushing, but they didn't know that they were going to they were going to come out in some place that do not have the incubators. But thank God for you and I. And I think we want to use this opportunity. If you are watching the show and you want to be part of Dr. Serebour or Dr. Frank, if you can say Serebour, if you want to be part of Dr. Frank's Ghana Medical Association initiative of providing incubators to needy hospitals in Ghana, you can hit us on actually in the comments, you can just say something, tell us, and we'll be able to definitely make you get in touch with them. Also, I think I have buy me coffee also on the thing. If you want to just donate because you can't even wait, you can also go to buy me coffee and / Dr. Otin, Dr. Otin, and we'll be careful to let everything you send to Dr. Frank and his team in Ghana. Dr. Frank, before we move on, how much does these incubators cost in Ghana? I mean, the ones that have been specified to the standards you want. I know that they range in prices,
Yes.
but somebody can go and buy anything that you guys cannot use. What do you?
I think the ones, they are not too expensive. I think that for those of you here, because we are speaking in terms of dollar terms, I think it's just about $1,500 should be able to secure one incubator in Ghana, and that is 15,000 Ghana cedis. Okay. Should be able to secure your portable incubator that can easily be used.
There's a portable one.
Yes, that can easily be used.
$1,500.
That should suffice for a lot of these facilities that don't have them. And one thing is that even for these facilities, if they are not going to keep the babies for a long time, and they are even going to refer them, it's important that they have it. And once they have it, they can keep them for the period that they are getting ready to refer, and then the referral processes go on very smoothly, and that enhances the survival of the baby. And so we need to get to every single facility to the best of our ability. And it's quite interesting that when we started this distribution, a whole regional hospital, that was the Efiam Kwanta Regional Hospital, which is the regional hospital in the Western region, had no working incubator, and we needed to donate.
A whole regional hospital.
Yes. So you can imagine the referrals they were getting.
Before we even go ahead, let's estimate how many people do you think will be in that catchment area, that whole region?
This is a big. If I want to put it in perspective, I am sure that you should have more than 500,000 or so people within the catchment area.
And there was no incubator.
Yes, there was no incubator. Their incubator was not functional. So it was one of the facilities that we needed to. In fact, originally they were not supposed to be part of the plan, because you would assume that a regional hospital should have a functional incubator. And so we're targeting the smaller facilities, but we ended up sending an incubator to them.
Wow.
Because we realized they would need it even more than some of the smaller facilities or the hinterlands. So if we have enough, this is a facility that needs more. Not even one. Because one is not enough.
One is not. Yes. And this is like for a whole population, all you could send is one.
Yes, because I needed to reach as many
places
as possible. And like I indicated, originally they were not supposed to be part of the plan.
They were not even supposed to be part of the plan. They were just lucky or blessed to have one come there. So viewers, that the reason it's not fun to laugh, but this is life and death issue for a lot of children out there who cannot even be given the chance to live their lives just because of a $1,500 incubator. And so I'm going to challenge you, if you are touched by this, make sure you hit us. And I'm going to put doctor's email address on there. I know there are some spammers out there, but if you spam, we'll pray that you die.
We will just pray that they break their legs and they still live.
Don't spam him. We're going to put his email address there and get in touch. If you want to just also let us know, he's going to be here for a little bit. We can also make him get your support. And he is working with the Medical Association. And I'm pretty sure they are going to mention your name when they do that. And you can even establish a partnership, an ongoing partnership with them, whether through his own hospital or through another hospital that he may suggest you, because like we say, he is the president, so he knows most of these needs around the country in Ghana, in West Africa. And so let's forge partnerships. I hope that through this show, somebody will be touched. Somebody will reach out and say that, you know what, I'm going to buy one incubator for this man to bring home and save a child. And then maybe you can have a link with doctor, and maybe sometime if you get a chance to also visit Africa, you can go and see that what your money did. But even if you don't, at least you can rest and say that all your time on earth, you were able to save some baby somewhere. All right, that is huge. All right.
And I will say that we can assure every individual who would want to donate that, look, your money will get to where it's supposed to get to. I am not even interested in the money coming to me. If it means I will link you up with a supplier in Ghana who you can work with to ensure that at least you pay the money, and then we can make sure that the process is done, and then we can go and pick the equipment, we are happy. But then every donation will be receipted by the association, the Ghana Medical Association. Official letters will be written to you, and we will have official receipts tendered in to you so that you know that the money didn't go to anyone's pocket. And that is the assurance I can give. In fact, we are not interested in taking people's money and using it on myself. No, not at all. And so what is important is you can establish a linkage. We can even link you up with some of the suppliers. You can even decide to choose the brand that you want to buy. And once you do so, we get the incubator, and then we will send it to areas that are in need. And if you want to be sure where we've sent it, we can link you up with the hospital. They can send you pictures, videos, and you can even share experiences with the people that we donate them to, so that at least you know exactly where your equipment went to. So we are very much open, and I don't think that we won't take anyone's money, not at all.
No, I believe you, Doc. I know you personally, so I mean, if that was the case, I wouldn't bring you on the show. I know you personally, and I know you are a diligent man, and you don't need this. Of course, your own career is able to take care of you. So, yes. So please reach out to us, and either to the Buy Me Coffee link right there, the yellow coffee mark on the left, and donate, and he's going to get everything, and he's going to present it to his association. Or like he said, if you even want to reach out to him and buy the products that they want in Ghana, you can do that. This is how genuine he is. He's actually crying for the babies, not for himself. And
maybe I'm still a baby.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I don't know about you, studio audience and us. Was anybody a preterm baby? I didn't ask my mom, so I don't know.
You would have known by now.
You were not a preterm baby.
Jerry was probably a post-term.
Jerry was probably a post-term. He stayed longer, right? So those of you out there who are watching, if you're a preterm, you got to. You don't have a choice. Save somebody like you, and then you can say that, you know what, I'm saving my kind. But for the rest of us out there who are not, who were not preterm, we need to save the other people. And this is doing God's work, This is doing God's work. It's not just going to church. This is saving lives. So I'm hoping that somebody out there will be touched and will be able to reach out and get that done for them. All right. So we are about to wrap up. I think we hit most of our questions that we have here.
I think the causes.
I think give this.
Yeah, Doc, you were saying that there are a lot of premature births of late, but do we know what's causing that? What are the causes of that premature birth?
Naturally, I mean, blacks are more inclined to give birth to preterm babies than Caucasians. So that is within even our genes. We are more likely to have preterm babies than the whites. So it's natural. The next thing is that we are having more women who want to finish their career before they start giving birth. And so they cross the age of 35, they are more likely to give birth to preterm babies. And of course, with these days of teenage pregnancies, we are getting a lot of these 16-year-olds coming in to give birth, and they are giving birth to these preterm babies. And so these are natural causes that comes with the problems that we have. at the moment in Ghana, and I'm sure in other countries as well. Apart from that, the issue of IVFs, you realize that for these in vitro fertilizations, what happens is that it's not only one fertilized egg that is placed in the womb. There are several fertilized eggs that are placed in the womb to at least ensure that there's a chance that the woman can have the children that she so much desires. But then these babies decide to survive, sometimes 3 of them, and they compete within the womb. And the womb has room for so much. It will not allow all of you to be able to grow, become so big before you come out. And so there is a need for you to come out early. So sometimes they do come out early than when they are supposed to come. And that is one of the reasons why we are getting a lot of preterm babies as well. And there are some natural tendencies of women with problems with their uteruses, and because of that, babies can't stay in there for too long. And they need to get out as quickly as possible. So these are actually the core reasons why we are getting a lot of preterm deliveries. And if you go to the villages, the manual work.
They do a lot of manual, heavy labor.
Regardless of the fact that they are pregnant, they still do a lot of manual work, heavy labor, and that predisposes them to giving birth to preterm babies. But once the babies come, I believe we need to ensure that they survive, so that at least they come to add to our population and also provide their due when they grow up to become adults.
My goodness. That's good. All right. So now I have doctor's email address on the screen. If you are watching us, it's right there. So you can just write it down and send him an email, and he's going to start a conversation with you as to how best to link up with him and this organization, the Ghana Medical Association.
So my email is very credible. Stripstone simply means Serebour. Serebour is what I've tried to make it look like an English something. You get it? Okay. So Stripstone.
Stripstone.
Yes. So let's try and make it more like, so that it's still my name.
It's still your name. Yes. Stripstone. Yeah. So instead of Serebour, Boar is stone. Yes. He just added the English part to his name. Made an email. So serebourstone@yahoo.com or Serebour. That is Dr. Frank Serebour right there. So capture that screenshot or take a screenshot of this and link up with him directly, and he will be able to direct you as to what to do. He's going to be checking his emails from here. So even if you want to do it in the future, at least send him a note and let him keep your email and contact so that he can reach out to you. And from this show, like I think I was telling him, we are going to actually have an annual event on our live, whether he's here or he's in Ghana. By the power of VCAM, we can, power of the internet, we can have him there and we still do a show. And hopefully November 23rd is Prematurity Day.
Yeah, I think November 17th, yes.
November 17th, okay.
Yes. So 2023.
Yes. So that's around Thanksgiving too.
Yes.
So when we're about to eat our turkeys and stuff,
you remember the preterm babies.
We remember the preterm babies. All right. So I don't know if you have any final questions. All right. So before we let you go, Doc, share with us your heart in general. What would you expect diasporans, people who were born in Ghana, who are outside Ghana and living their lives, as well as other folks, regular people, Americans, Indians, Europeans, whoever is watching this or is going to watch it after the replay, what do you have to tell people this time?
I think first and foremost for Ghanaians who are in the diaspora, home is home. Whether you like it or not, you're still a Ghanaian, regardless of where you are. So you need to support the cause. You need to ensure that you give back to your roots. It's so important that you don't just forget about where you came from, because that is one of the key principles of this world. You have to remember where you came from. Mm-hmm. And of course, for those people who are not Ghanaians, but in other places, it's the same continent, it's the same world. Wherever you are, you can support anyone, anywhere. And so if you can reach out to Ghanaians and support Ghanaian children, I think that God will bless you. And it's important that we look at our circumstances and ensure that once we are fine, we should at least reach out to someone who is in distress. And then at this moment, I think that it's important we look at these newborns. And this is a project that I hope may be carried on by other presidents that will take over from me. So it's not going to be a 9-day wonder. Even if you can't give now, in future, once you can give, I am sure you can link up with the Ghana Medical Association and and give, so that at least they can reach to areas where it's important that the babies are kept alive. So it's quite open. We should support each other, and we should be each other's keeper. After all, that's what the Bible charges us to do, isn't it?
Yes.
So regardless of where you come from.
My goodness. Come on, studio audience, what do you do for Doctor? My goodness. Doc, we are happy. We are happy to have you. And the good thing is we got Doctor again tomorrow. My goodness.
And what's the topic we are talking about?
So tomorrow we are going to talk about beating stress in career, or career stress, how to beat it. If anybody could ever be stressed, it's got to be this man. So how is he beating the stress? No, president of the Ghana Medical Association, a husband, a father of what? 3 children, right?
3 children, yeah.
And then the medical director of a whole hospital in Bekwai. Who else could be more stressed than this man?
The two you mentioned in between is more stressful, isn't it?
You know what I'm saying?
Husband and the father.
The husband and the father, it's even more stressful than the rest, right?
That's what we're talking about, career paths, right?
I know, right?
Yeah. And so tomorrow, God willing, at 6 p.m., he's going to tell us how he's able to juggle all these traits and still do well. It's one thing doing it and another thing doing it well. And this man is doing it well. It's not because he's sitting here. If he wasn't doing it well, medical association wouldn't, people, they wouldn't have voted for him. And he wouldn't be, doing all the good stuff you heard him do concerning philanthropy using the organization and a host of other things that we have seen him do in his family. So if he could do it, if you could manage all these stressful situations and still do it well, we got to pick on his brain tomorrow. So tomorrow, we are going to have him talk to us about career stress, how he's dealing with his own stress in his career, and then medically as a professional, what he thinks should be done in order to overcome.
Gifty sister is very important when it comes to distressing. So very, very important.
We say it again, Doc?
I said Gifty sister is very important when it comes to distressing. So.
My goodness, you know what he's talking about, right? So he has already given us one hint. One hint is that the wife, Gifty sister, my co-host, the wife is helping with all the distress. The distress. So I'm pretty sure he's going to say that and more. And I'm sure she's also watching somewhere in Ghana. All right. So Doc, we want to say thank you so much for coming in and being with us. I don't know what else to say. Your stay is short, but you know that as soon as you call me, your show was planned. And so we are happy to see you. The good thing is that we have you one more time before you leave. And hopefully before you go, you get some emails too as people begin to watch.
No problem at all. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And thank you for highlighting the problems of the miracle babies.
All right. So we're going to end here again. If you watch the stream after the live play, you can always send Dr. Serebour an email right up on the screen and connect with him as to how you can be helpful in helping preterm babies in Africa, in particular in Ghana. Premature babies, save some lives through the acquisition of incubators. Also, if your money is ready and you just want to give, you could go to this yellow cup right here, which says Buy Me Coffee. If you click on that link, or if you write that link out and you go, you could submit some cash right there, and we can mobilize it and give it to him. So he will take it to Africa. And we end here. Thank you for joining us. We say that, beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you for watching.
God bless you.